How's it going, guys? It's Snowy here, Youngblood MMA. And to start off, we will be rebranding soon, so we won't be Youngblood MMA for long. Turns out my hashtag was being used to elicit illegal drugs, and so that's been banned. So we are going to be changing things up. But I've been looking at the rankings lately, and I've been looking at heavyweight. What is going on with heavyweight? We're waiting on news still regarding title unification. In heavyweight, currently, Jones is still the sitting champion. And, before he was fighting Stipe, he had mentioned that he had plans of retiring right after, and turns out that's not the case. So, we're looking at getting that fight negotiated, and, hopefully the UFC can give John Jones his $30 million. So, we're going to need to step the gas on this a little bit. Jones' last fight was in November, and you had Aspinall, whose last fight was in July. So, at this rate, he's going to be inactive for probably nearly a year. We're probably talking about International Fight Week here in June, and we're going to need to hurry this thing along. So, we may even need a vice interim belt, and then we could do a title unification there between Tom Aspinall and, we could even have a Gon Volkov 3 to figure that out. And that might fix things. I don't know. But here's the thing. If Jones loses, we'll probably get a rematch. We could have another year of this. UFC, they're always willing to grant rematches, especially in special occasions like this with high-profile fighters and high-profile competitive situations, especially when the stakes are as high as John Jones, the greatest of all time, potentially losing to Tom Aspinall, if that happens, right? I'm not saying if it's going to happen, if Tom's going to beat John, if John's going to beat Tom, but at least we know there's not going to be a trilogy fight there. The UFC is going to run out of money quickly before that even happens. So, but either way, Tom beats John, John beats Tom back. There won't be a trilogy. John would just retire at that point. But, we might even see if he wins right away, he might hang around for a few more wins. We might even see Jones versus Pereira if John defends his title against Tom Aspinall. We also had Cyril Gane versus Alex Volkov at UFC 310, biggest robbery of the year. And we're talking about what's the UFC leadership going to do about this. Dana had promised he was going to make this right to Volkov. How's he going to make this right? I think they'll probably have to take, one more fight each. So let's go take a look. We're going to take a look at the other contenders here at heavyweight, and we'll circle back and we'll get these guys matched up soon. So we got Sergey Pavlovich, number 4. He's fighting Jairzinho Rozenstruik at Riyadh, here at UFC Fight Night Riyadh. And Sergey Pavlovich, his 2 recent losses were to Volkov and to Tom Aspinall. So, that certainly makes things complicated for him. It seems he just fell on some hard times with those 2 losses in a row. And, really, he was killing it. He was killing it at heavyweight up until that point. And then we also have Jairzinho Rozenstruik. He got a win over Tai Tuivasa at UFC 305. And that was almost the biggest robbery of 2024. They called that a split decision, and Tai Tuivasa didn't win a single round. We also have a win for Jairzinho over Shamil Gaziev, and this guy's just overhyped, man. They just hyped to have a Dagestani heavyweight. In reality, I think Rizvan Kuniev is that guy. He had one fight in the PFL. He fought and defeated Renan Ferreira, and that was actually overturned. He failed a drug test for use of PEDs. He had a whole year, 12-month suspension, and a $10,000 fine. So this will be Rizvan Kuniev's debut fight in the UFC, right? And it seems crazy. We're matching him up with ranked 5 Curtis Blades. Seems really undeserved, but I'd like to see what happens after he beat Renan Ferreira. This won't be an easy fight. I am leaning towards a similar fight result to Blades Almeida, though. And Almeida looked great up until he got finished in round 2. And, Kuniev, he's going to have to lay off the anabolics here. He hasn't lost since 2015, though, so that's going to be a big, big boost of confidence for him going into his first UFC fight. We also have Jelton Almeida, ranked 6, fighting Sergey Spivak, number 7, in 2 weeks at UFC 311. And Jelton currently has a win over Alexander Romanov. He's currently not in the UFC. His contract wasn't renewed. And that was a layup for Almeida. He also had a loss to Blades. We just mentioned that. And we also have to mention that was Jelton Almeida's first top 5 contender fight. And if he beats Sergey Spivak at UFC 311. Let's see it happen again. Let's have Jailton have round 2 at a first top 5 contender here. In regard to Spivak, he's got a win over Tybura in a rematch. He's been on a decent run lately. I think he's been easily overlooked here. His only recent loss was to Gane in 2023 and then Tom Aspinall in 2021. So, that really says a lot. Those were the 2 guys that he happened to lose to. So he should feel really good about that going into a fight with Jailton Almeida. And if he wins, he should feel good about moving up and facing off, having another shot at facing another top 5 guy. So let's circle back. That being said, we have Gane and Volkov, and we're suggesting they should probably take 1 fight each to figure this out the right way, because they aren't just going to give Volkov the title shot after he technically has an official loss, even though nobody sees it as a loss. We're going to say maybe Gane fights the winner of Blades Kuniev. I'd love to see Gane versus Curtis Blades. And if Kuniev puts on a show, we could be easily seeing him climb up the rankings. And imagine he beats Blades, he beats Gane. He's #1 contender of 2025, getting the next title shot. That'd be mad impressive. But, I'm sure he's an underdog pick in that fight. You got Volkov fighting God knows who. Probably the winner of Almeida, Spivak, probably. I hate the idea of, having to match up one of these up-and-comers with Volkov. Maybe we switch it around, but, we'll have to determine who gets the harder fight here and what's the risk if they lose. We can give the harder fight to Volkov, and if he loses, well, that wasn't the UFC doing any sort of favor for Volkov, but that's just how the fight game goes. Let's say Gane wins to a harder opponent. Volkov fights and wins against a less impressive opponent. That doesn't put anyone in a good position. You give Gane the title shot. It kind of makes sense because he defeated the harder contender, but everyone's still going to be pissed off because we're saying Volkov's next. But if Volkov gets a title shot after defeating an easier challenge than Gane, there's going to be some confusion there, some chitter chatter. But at some point, we just got to shut out the noise and let things play out the way that they're supposed to play out. That's what UFC is all about. That's the video for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and let me know in the comment section, who do you think should get a harder fight? Do you think Gane and Volkov should have another fight, or should they just give it to Volkov? Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Stay tuned.